You're looking for the next big blow-up wide receiver. You're looking at the rookies. You're looking at the year 2 guys. We're looking at another wide receiver today, and we're going to the Houston Texans and getting a good look at Jayden Higgins, rookie wide receiver from Iowa State. We're going to talk about the news, the facts, the data, the good, the bad, the ugly, so you can make your decision on whether or not you need him for your fantasy football team in your drafts coming up this weekend. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing these deep dives every single day on as many players as possible. We'll do this throughout the season like we always do, so you can get the news, the information, the advanced analytics quick. We're doing rankings. We're helping you set your lineups. We're finding gems off the waiver wire. It's all here. It's free. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching right there. Do not disappoint Ric Flair. Just do it. Jayden Higgins, though, big-time prospect in a big situation. Looks like going to be the wide receiver, too, for the Texans. A lot of people are interested in him. He was drawing rave reviews at the Senior Bowl as he was creating separation. He was making big plays, and the Texans stepped up, made that draft pick. But coming out of high school, nobody wanted the kid. He was a 2-star recruit. Had to start off at Eastern Kentucky. I had a friend play there. Not a bad school. A fun place to visit. Don't want to stay there, though. But we eventually make it to Iowa State. 983 yards, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Yards after the catch per reception, 3.8. But we got the ADOT, guys. 12.1, 13.2, 14.1, 15.1, 13.3 on his career. We get the deep ball. We're good at converting contested catches. We win at the top. And that's what we're looking at the NFL level, as he's a 6'4 skyscraper playing on the opposite side of Nico Collins with a quarterback that likes to push the ball downfield. This is a good fit for him. This is a good fit for the Texans, especially on the opposite side of Nico Collins. And you look at what came out of the draft here and at the NFL Combine, he got drafted in the second round. Not just in the second round, but early. 202 off the board to the Houston Texans. They pick up Jayden Higgins. Damn near close to a first-round pick. They valued him as a first-round pick to make that selection. That being said, 4.47 40-yard dash, 94th percentile speed score, 87th percentile burst score. That is the vertical and the long jump put together and then added metrically compared to the other wide receivers that came out for the draft. 94th percentile catch radius. Good size here, good production profile. The film says it from Iowa State. We saw it at the Senior Bowl. He's been making plays in camp, and you're looking at this depth chart here. Christian Kirk is going to command targets. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to be moved around. Jalen Noel, his former teammate, still his teammate from Iowa State, is a very good wide receiver prospect. Xavier Hutchinson, formerly from Iowa State, he has not stepped up in his big moments, but Nico Collins is the man here. He is the alpha wide receiver, and he has shown it throughout his career. Blew up in 2023, was going to have a good season in 2024, but we had some injuries there. This is a big-time prospect who went off. He played well at Michigan, but Harbaugh doesn't throw the ball much, but he was getting almost a 25% target share, 8 at almost 11, so getting targets downfield while commanding volume. That just screams alpha wide receiver and could get more this year as he's going to be healthy, at least to start the season. And if he does miss games, which he has missed a few games here and there over the last few seasons, then we're going to see Higgins step up. That's one thing. Higgins might be getting some opportunity. That's something to pay attention to throughout the season. But Christian Kirk might get some. I'm not going to say he's going to be big-time fantasy relevant, but he's cheap. He's going to command targets. This is an offense that's going to throw the ball a lot. They got some good situations throughout the season where they're going to have to. And Christian Kirk, veteran wide receiver, has been productive before. Never been a big-time wide receiver, averaging 12.1 PPR fantasy points since 2020. But again, this is a wide receiver that's going to be on the field, that's going to get those starter reps. And now you're looking at the strength of schedule here against past defenses. Sharp Football Analysis has their schedule ranked 16th. Junkyard Jake, whoever the hell that is, has them ranked 3rd. RotoWire has them ranked 2nd. Some guy named Justin Boone from Yahoo does not have a number, but he's listed there. But from what you're seeing here, the schedule is mid to favorable. Mid to favorable for wide receivers here for the Texans, and you got to account for a rookie ramp up. He's a good prospect. He's got good draft capital, pushing first-round status. You got a stud wide receiver, and you got another veteran wide receiver there. They might run the ball. They might push it downfield more than what you think with C.J. Stroud. He's done that before. But account for a rookie ramp-up. I expect Nico Collins to own 25 to 30% of the targets, if not more. I expect it for him to be solid, to be a standout. I expect Kirk to own 17 to 20% of the targets. And I expect Higgins to ramp up. I would not be surprised if it's anticlimactic to start off the season. And maybe somewhere around like week 10, 13, 14, 15, he starts becoming valuable in fantasy football. He might have some games where he blows up here and there, like catching deep balls downfield, maybe some red zone work. But I expect him to hit and stride later on down the road. I don't expect him to usurp Nico Collins ever. I don't expect him to steal target share. I expect his value to increase rapidly if Nico Collins ever comes out. I look for him to take over that role or at least get the deep shots downfield. He'll be better than whatever was taken over for Nico Collins when he was out. And then also expect Jalen Noel to step in later on down the road, be the slot wide receiver. That's years from now. On top of that, you look at this offense. Tank Dell's hurt. Stephon Diggs gone. John Mechie gone. Robert Woods gone. Xavier Hutchinson bust. Deontay Johnson doesn't matter. So there's a lot of targets to go around for Kirk and also Jayden Higgins. Higgins might get more opportunity than realized and might be enough for him to be a spot start for you in fantasy football. I expect the start to be rather slow, but I also expect for him to surprise you in some moments in the start of his career before he starts blasting off. But I don't expect him to be a thorough, consistent wide receiver one week in, week out. I expect him to be very volatile. That means some splash games, maybe some wide receiver two production here and there. But I expect Nico Collins, I think at minimum a 25% target share. I don't see him losing that. I think he can push for 30 as he acclimates more with a full season of health. If we can get a full season out of him. Right now, an underdog, 8th round pick. When I look at this and I look at the home league drafts, when I'm looking at what people are posting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, he goes cheaper than this in a lot of drafts. I don't mind getting him cheaper. I don't mind getting him in double-digit rounds in some of those home league drafts that I'm seeing. I don't mind that at all. He's a lottery ticket wide receiver. I think him and Keon Coleman, when you look at those two wide receivers together, I think fantasy football-wise, not on tape-wise, they draw some parallels. Deep shots downfield, inconsistent targets from game to game. Both of them have the chance to be very volatile this year. Volatile as in some blow-up games with a lot of down games mixed in it. I think Gabe Davis, Will Fuller, those type of wide receivers. I think you got a chance for that out of Higgins. Would not be surprised this year, his first season in the league, that it starts off slow with some targets here and there. As he ramps up, become more of a piece of the offense, more of a weapon for Stroud down the line this season. His ADP is trending up a little bit, but it's not going nuclear. He's made some plays in camps this season, minicamp OTAs, rookie camp. He's a big physical wide receiver, strong hands. He can play it downfield. He's going to get those deep shots. His ADOT's going to be in the double digits. He could finish the season, say last 5, 6, 7, 10 games, whatever, around a 20% target share. We just got to account for that rookie ramp up because that's going to be in there, but he's in a good situation because the Texans are going to push the ball downfield. You got a good quarterback. You're not going to go against the number one cornerback. There's going to be games where you blow up. I think even when he ramps up, I don't think he's going to be accounted for as a consistent wide receiver. I think he's going to be a good, volatile wide receiver with some upside weeks when they're trying to take out Nico and they just go to Higgins on the other side. I can definitely see that happening. I see a slow ramp up, and that's something you got to think to. Next to Higgins, he's a rookie. Next to Collins, he's a rookie. There's some upside there still, but you're still waiting for that to ramp up. And this offense, though, they can fuel two wide receiver ones. It's not going to be consistent week to week due to Collins getting 25% target share, but I could definitely see him having some big moments throughout the season. Would not be surprised if it's slow. I would look at him as a lottery ticket. I would not be afraid to move on from him if he's not hitting through weeks 1 through 5 or whatever like that, and there's something sexier off the waiver wire, like a player emerges that we're not accounting for. But he should be drafted in home league drafts because he's got the upside due to the deep ADOT. He's going to get a good average depth of target. However, you do not need to draft any serious veterans for him unless you're in a league. Maybe it's 10-team, 8-team, where it's more beneficial to shoot for upside. However, the odds of him consistently being in the top 10 or top 8 every single week, it's going to be hard for him to do with Nico there. But if Nico's out, then you're going to want to look at him. If you got Nico and you're looking for a handcuff to your wide receiver, and he falls past that 8-round ADP, 10, 11, 12 rounds, something like that, I think that's fine, considering Nico has missed a couple games every season for the last few years. I think that's fine if you want to do that. He can give you standalone production. He'll be on the field. He's got favorable matchups coming up. That's not advice, because I would rather, what I would do, slam running back into double-digit rounds. But everybody's got their own flavor and what they want to do. And my goal here with the channel is give you both sides of the coin here, and you just choose what you want to do. So with Jayden Higgins, he's got a lot of upside to his game due to him stretching the field, being a big body by the boundary. But he's a rookie. He's got a good wide receiver on the other side of the field. He's got a veteran wide receiver. They may run it a little bit more than expecting some of these contests. That's something to pay attention to. I would not be surprised if he breaks out somewhere down the line or later this season, maybe weeks 10, week 6, and goes blast off, but also be volatile due to how good Nico Collins is, and he's the man in the offense. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.